So, it's been 4 years since I've started this YouTube channel. So much has happened in the 4 years that has gone on with this YouTube channel. Whenever I had first started this YouTube channel, I really genuinely was a broken man that was just barely scraping by on rock bottom. Back then I worked with the family business as a mechanic slash vehicle detailer. I didn't care about life enough to even get out of sweatpants on most days. I showed up to work with sweatpants, and they were so holey that my underwear would oftentimes show very frequently. Whenever I had started this gun channel, I didn't have very much of an arsenal. A couple of 22s, a couple of 12 gauges, black powder revolver, and a Mosin-Nagant. I had a little 22 1911 variant, but besides that, that was what I had to start this gun channel, and that was definitely what I used. I was a broken man wearing sweatpants and a shirt from work because I didn't care enough to change out of it, showing off some firearms that I guess would be considered bottom of the barrel whenever it comes to these particular kind of firearms, but that didn't stop me from showing them off and recording it and doing what I wanted to do, because that was what I wanted to do. And of course, right as I start my gun channel is whenever we see the biggest anti-gun push on social media in recorded history here in the United States. But I continued to push forward, and I continued to get new things to show off. I continued to learn new things. I continued to connect with new people. I continued to push myself to grow more and more and more. And here I am 4 years later from the start of that journey. Now there for a while, I did start to slack off on the channel. It wasn't until 2020, like early 2020, where I decided to really buckle down and give this channel my all. And of course, whenever I decided to give this channel my all is whenever I had a really, really rough year. We all did. Ammo shortages were absolutely insane. We had a global pandemic. We had tons of loved ones pass away. I lost my uncle. I lost my aunt. I just recently lost an old friend of mine. He didn't pass away, but I had lost Busky. That broke my heart whenever he bailed out without even saying goodbye. This channel is one of the things that saved me, because there was a point in time where I was like at absolute rock bottom and I had absolutely nothing going on for me, and I decided to myself, well, I was doing that gun channel, may as well, get serious about it, start looking into it, get real with it. And so I did. Just from trial and error, I figured out this GoPro to the point to where I can use it effectively. I bought myself a couple of cheap camera stands, so now I can have camera B downrange. I stuck plenty of lead inside of that car, teaching myself the fundamentals of shooting and how to shoot accurately. Whenever I had started this channel, boy, I was a pretty awful shot, but now I'm at least half decent. As of time of recording this, I'm 4 years down the road of starting this YouTube channel, and I'm 1,300 subscribers deep into it. I've got roughly 400 videos up on this channel, and I've got, I don't know, $100,000 invested into it by now. Definitely a significant amount of money. I will never get back the amount of money I've invested into this channel, but this channel has been a very convenient excuse for me to invest in those things. So it's a fair trade-off, because I probably would be doing these things anyway. This channel is literally just me recording what I normally do. And it's hard to believe, because I remember the day that I started doing this. I remember walking around, I had my sweatpants on, my work shirt on, and I was like, hello there once again for the first time audience. Hello there once again for the first time audience. And that was the first video, and I made a video about this Mosin-Nagant right here, literally this one. And whenever I think about this Mosin, just the history that I have with this rifle, and knowing that there is a whole life of this rifle before it even met my hands. Like, this rifle has some serious background to it. And this is a rifle that I grew up with. You know, we got it, and it was one of the things that I, you know, really learned to shoot with growing up. And it was the rifle that I started my YouTube channel with. Out of all of the things that I had, which wasn't very much at the time, but I still had plenty of choices, I chose to show off the Mosin-Nagant. I don't really know why. I think it's just because it was my favorite gun at that time that I owned. Hell, even nowadays, it probably still is my favorite gun. Back then, even before the ammo shortage, I mean, we're talking at a time where I was making probably about 40 bucks a week. So my expenditure on ammunition had to be very, very minuscule. And what I used to do is I would load one round into a magazine at a time. I'd single load rifles, whether they're semi-auto or not. I'd do the same thing with handguns. I'd single load them. And I had to do that in order to stretch my ammunition out as long as I possibly could. There were plenty of people who didn't like how I single loaded my things, but it was just what I had to do with what I had available at the time. 2020 took its toll, that's for sure, especially with the ammo shortage. Prices are still way higher than I'd like them to be. But my living arrangements and my circumstances and my attitude has definitely improved over the years. And I have gotten to the point to where I can afford full magazines in my firearms, except for my AR-15, upon which I'm likely going to get a 5-round magazine, so I could say I fully can afford a full magazine from an AR. But the Mosin only takes 5 rounds, and I can even afford the stripper clips to load the Mosin. Back whenever I had gotten this rifle, we paid like 80 bucks for it, and the ammo was stupidly cheap. So we stocked up on it, but whenever that ammo was gone, it was gone. And we had entered the time where ammunition was, specifically 54 rimmed, was rising in price dramatically. And I just couldn't afford to fire off full magazines for my videos. You know, it was the same case with all of my ammo. I was in a really tough spot whenever I started this YouTube channel. I really was. And I started it with this thing right here. I'm pretty sure I was firing comm block spam can ammunition, but I have some Red Army Standard 54 rimmed with us here today. Let's go ahead and lob some lead. This is not the range that I started off with, by the way. I even made a retro video of where this channel came from. And I showed off the range that I used to shoot at, but I moved out here because I got the car, and I nailed a piece of wood to a tree to hold my camera. So this is where the range has been set for this channel, at least for now. All right, let's go ahead, lob a 54 rimmed round down at the steel silhouette. I love the smell of Mosin in the morning. Anyone who's ever fired a Mosin, like that first shot that you fire, a Mosin has a particular smell, a Mauser has a particular smell, and an AK-47 has a particular smell. All the other guns just kind of like, they smell the same, but these rifles in particular they just have a special scent. And I love how hard 54 rimmed smacks into its target. Even with how much 54 rimmed has climbed in price, it is still a very affordable option in comparison to some other rounds, especially whenever you look at what it is that you're actually getting. You're getting a full power rifle cartridge for not a lot of money. And I like whenever I hit my target, I'm surprised the steel silhouette's still standing. I like whenever I hit my targets and I could just see a bunch of crap fly up, or like some smoke. Quite entertaining. Ah, dude, did you guys see the smoke that just came out of the barrel of this thing? I wonder if that caught up on camera. Whenever I closed the chamber, I just had a little puff of smoke pop out of the Mosin. That was pretty cool. Every time I hit the steel, it gets just a little bit lower. Let's see if I can knock it down. I'm gonna go for the base. Nope, she's still standing. That is impressive. I was expecting that steel to fall. You know what? I don't have these loaded into a stripper clip, but I did bring out another box of ammo, just in case the steel did not fall down. Let's go ahead and break it out. Normally, I just kind of keep rocks and various other crap that's fallen from the car on the steel, and I use that to stand it up. This way I can get a couple of rounds in before it falls down. I've tried the chain method, but that car is just too immaculately destroyed for a chain to viably latch onto something and stop the steel from falling down. That is how you know that you've gotten some good results from your gun range. Every time I shoot the steel, it is getting just like a little bit lower. It's almost to the point to where I can't really see it anymore. But hey, let's set another round, why not? Okay, it's quite low now. I bet you I could still hit it though. I'm not sure if I hit it or not. Okay, it's pretty well down. You know what? In celebration of the 4-year anniversary of this channel, I'm gonna go ahead and mad minute the Mosin into that water right there. People are always, what's the word I'm looking for here? They are surprised at how fast I can run this Mosin, because this Mosin is quite smooth. This is definitely one of the smoother operating Mosins that I've dealt with, but it's a refurbished model, so it's obviously had a little bit of work to it. But I'm just gonna mad minute into the water there, and I'm sure that right there is gonna be pretty cool looking. All right, not going for any real particular aim. I'm hoping I can at least hit the water effectively. Here we go. Oh, come on, Mosin. I was just hyping you up. Damn. I wonder how big that hole there is. Many a time I've done a mad minute with this Mosin. I've never had it catch on the neck of the cartridge. The neck of the cartridge was catching on the receiver right here, so I had to keep pushing it back down. But then again, I do have like 40,000 rounds, very literally about 40,000 rounds of ammunition through this thing. Back whenever we got that, we could get like the spam cans of ammo for stupidly cheap, man, and we stockpiled them at like 25 at a time, and we'd burn through, you know, all of those spam cans with this Mosin. I'd just come home from school and I'd shoot it, and I would just like spend hours on end. I mean, that was what I did after school. I went out to the woods and I just shot this Mosin, you know, shot it to high hell. Just for fun though, I'm gonna go ahead and do another round of mad minute, see if she decides to give me problems again. I remember back whenever I had this Mosin, well, obviously I still have this Mosin. I remember back whenever I would shoot this Mosin regularly, I did a demolition job, and we tore down a house. And this house was so immaculately made that we hooked it to a tow truck, like the tow truck winch, and we were using that to try and pull down the supports. But instead of pulling down the supports, we just kind of ripped the house in half, and we had two halves of a house, and they were still standing. Well, we eventually just cut it up with a chainsaw, and we brought it back to our house. And since like it was all wood and whatnot, we were just gonna burn it. Well, I had a hunk of the roof out on my gun range, and that was pretty cool. I wish that I still had that. but I remember blasting so many rounds into that roof. I can't remember what movie it was, but I remember thinking to myself, I know it was a scene with Bruce Willis where he was just like unloading magazine after magazine of his handgun, and I was doing that but with a Mosin, and I did that so much. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna mad minute into the water again. Let's see if we have any malfunctions. I was doing so well. Okay, there we go. Look at how much the weather and rain, and they say that you can't control the weather. Well, people that say that don't own a Mosin, because I just made it rain. Whew, I tell you what, the old Mosie's definitely getting a little on the toasty side. Because that's what happens whenever you mad minute a Mosin. Alright, I got mosquitoes buzzing around me because I decided to go for a walk. What I did was I went and I grabbed a watermelon. This is a watermelon that my family tried, cutting open and eating, a little on the older side. We didn't really feel that we wanted to eat it. I mean, I'm sure it's edible, but it's just not one of those things that we really felt like eating. So we were gonna get rid of it, and I was like, you know what would be really cool with that? Shooting it with the Mosin. So I've shot plenty of things with the Mosin before, and full metal jackets tend to just kind of go right through. So what I did was I broke out some of my homemade hollow point rounds. Well, I guess these are homemade soft tips because I never actually made the hollow point. These right here are just kind of tips of rounds. That's a big bug. I took the round out, put it to a grinding wheel, put it back in. Normally I like hollow it out a little bit, make a little hollow point, but soft point will serve our purposes well enough for this watermelon here. But full metal jackets just kind of go right through soft targets like this, and there's not really much that happens. So let's go ahead and see what a soft point does. Did I say that right? Did I say that properly? Full metal jackets tend to go right through. Soft point should be a little bit more entertaining. Now, since this is just a grinding on the tip of a bullet, nothing's exactly measured, so accuracy would not be very good with this round, and I'm expecting at, like, you know, ranges of 50 yards plus, we'd see a lot of bullet tumbling. So that's why I kind of have the watermelon right up here, right next to us. So I might get some watermelon on me, but I'm still gonna do it. Here we go. Oh boy. Remember whenever I said I was gonna get some watermelon on me? Yep, that was in fact correct. There's gonna be little watermelon plants growing all over here now. So yeah, as you can see, the soft point absolutely obliterated that watermelon, whereas a full metal jacket would have like pretty much just gone through and through, and the watermelon would probably still be sitting whole. Maybe it would have like broken in half just from the energy transfer, but for the most part, the fact that I made that round into a soft point is what made that absolutely spectacular. Alright, I was going to grab that piece of watermelon there, but it's in the puddle. So instead I'm going to shoot the puddle, and we're going to see if I can make that piece of watermelon bounce into the sky. That should be pretty fun. I'm going to use just a regular full metal jacket for that, because those tend to make water splash pretty well. I'm sure a soft point would probably deliver more sudden transfer of energy, but full metal jackets would still serve our purposes, and I only have like 2 other soft points with me. All right, here we go. I'm going to shoot right under that piece of watermelon, and we're going to see how far we can launch it. This is kind of just for fun at this point. And there's still watermelon raining from the sky. Well, we launched that son of a bitch real high. It didn't really hold itself together, but man, how long was that raining from the sky? My God. That was so goddamn cool that I'm gonna gather up some pieces of watermelon and do that again. That was sweet. Okay, I got us a little pile of watermelon down there. Let me find my last full metal jacket here. And then I have 2 soft points. I'm sure I'll find something entertaining to do with those. Okay, I'm just gonna aim for the bottom of that pile of watermelon there, and we're gonna see how long it takes for watermelon to stop raining from the sky, because last time it took a decent minute. Readjust the camera there just to make sure that you guys have full view of the pile of watermelon that we have sitting on the ground right there. Firing. Wow, I'm not going out there for a minute. Well, the pile of watermelon has officially gone basically in a radius from where I'm at to the car. I can in fact confirm that it is at least where I'm at because I have watermelon on me now. I tell you what, who doesn't love shooting watermelon? I know I certainly do. Watermelon is getting very expensive though. It's like $6 for a single watermelon. At that price, like, I could do a lot with $6 for this channel. I could go down to the dollar store and get a whole bunch of stuff to destroy for $6 versus one watermelon. But that was really cool, and that was well worth the $6 that was spent on that watermelon that we weren't gonna eat anyway. So, it's been 4 years, guys. 4 years. My God. Time absolutely flies. If there is one thing that I legitimately learned in high school that outweighs all of the other stuff that I learned in high school in terms of practical purposes being used today, it was something that was taught to me by my science teacher. He had told me that after you leave high school, time absolutely flies. In high school, you have things actually occupying your time, but after high school, time absolutely flies. And boy, he was right. Like, I was at graduation and then I blinked, and here I am, like a decade later. Well, I guess not quite a decade later. Let's see, it's 2021, so yeah, about 6 years. I graduated in 2015. People are always surprised whenever I tell them how young I am. I'm only 24 years old as of this right now. Hopefully, down the road, this channel will grow to the point to where it's something I can retire on. But even if it doesn't, I still have fun here, as you can see from the watermelon there. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the adventure of this channel, you know, thus far. I know I definitely have. My God. Looking back at a lot of these videos that I have on my channel, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of nostalgia here. And in all honesty, whenever I started this channel, that's kind of what I was going for. I wanted an archive of videos that I could look back on and reflect on my life, you know, with. And I have that now. I have videos of friends and family, now lost, now gone, now passed away. And I could just look back on those videos and remember them. And the beauty about it being saved to YouTube is I don't foresee YouTube going anywhere. So, I mean, I have it saved to my hard drive and USBs and all sorts of stuff. But if something were to happen, you know, to my house, say it burned to the ground, I still have that stuff on YouTube. So, it was definitely a good choice for archiving. And next thing I know, I've got 1,300 subscribers of people wanting me, or wanting to watch me continue to blow stuff up and just live the life that I live. And it's always a really good time. I've definitely had a lot of fun with this channel. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. I have 2 soft points left. I can always make more. It doesn't take but a minute to make soft point rounds for this Mosin here, especially in the way that I do it. They're not very accurate out to a long range, but boy are they fun at a short range. I do have 2 soft point rounds left. Let me know what it is that you want me to do with them. If you like this kind of content, subscribe to the channel because I do this all the time. If you like the video, do me a solid and actually like the video. That helps out with the algorithm. In the description, you're going to find a bunch of links to all sorts of stuff. That being said, I have mosquitoes buzzing around me. I am sweaty, it's hot. This Mosin is quite toasty now that I have it on my back. Here, I'm going to go ahead and adjust that just like that, bend over a little bit. Ah, that feels good. Nice and warm. It's like a heating pad, but manlier. Man, that's actually quite nice. I might come out, fire off a few more rounds of the Mosin just for this experience. Oh, that's the spot. I got the rear sight. crammed up into my scapula. Carl Weezer would be proud. My God, I completely underestimated how nice warmth is when lodged into a part of your body that has been strained and pulled and is not doing so hot. It might take me a minute to close out this video. It's just so nice. And the beauty about it, the beauty about it is the way that I have the sling on it. I can apply lots of pressure onto this Mosin. Oh, that's so nice. You ever see a man pleasure himself with a Mosin? Probably not something that I should ask on the internet, but it's happening. The receiver's kind of warm on the love handles though. Okay. Alright. I'm going to experiment with that a little bit further down the road, but my God, it's magical. I'm like tired now. I'm starting to fall asleep. Come on, buddy. Wake up. You got videos to do. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to go off, make some more videos just because it's my day off. And that's what I feel like doing. I feel like coming out to the gun ranging. I have the means to do so and the ammunition to do so. So you guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day, and thanks for watching. Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.